Good day, my fellow Americans. The title of today's video is America, What's Wrong with You? When I say what's wrong with you, I mean how come there isn't protest by the millions protesting the murders of foreign nationals by Donald Trump? Last November, let's go to last November before we come to the war in Iran. Donald Trump, I believe, took a carefully calculated move to see how the American people and the world would react. We saw the sickening photo of a fishing boat with no weapons whatsoever being blown up and two men being killed. And there were a couple other boats they blew up too for no reason. We were given the reason. Oh, I have my trusty notes here, so that's why I'm looking down. We were given the reason that these were drug dealers, but no proof whatsoever was given to us, the American people, that these were drug dealers. All we have is their word, Donald Trump's word, and the Department of Defense's word, which is not enough. This just isn't enough. You can't take anyone at their word. If these men had an international record of drug smuggling or they produced the drugs, but to my knowledge, this was never done. They blew the boat up and erased all evidence. And this is absolutely incredible. You just can't do that. That's murder. When you blow something up, erase the evidence, and offer no proof, and they literally got away with murder. Now, these men very well may have been drug dealers, so they should have been arrested by the Navy and brought to trial. You just don't kill someone on suspicion of being a drug dealer. And this did not go, the American people, this just did not go challenged by the American people. There should have been rioting in the streets, protests like we had when ICE was arresting illegal immigrants, but we had none of that. There were a few murmurs of dissent from the Democrats, but nothing like the protests over ICE immigration arrests. So the next step was Donald Trump boarded Venezuelan tankers to steal their oil, plain and simple. This is about oil and money. And the third step was what no one saw coming or could have guessed. He kidnapped the president of Venezuela because he didn't like him. And now the president is on trial in America, Nicholas Maduro of Venezuela. And this is contrary. Donald Trump's blowing up of the boat, these fishing boats of two men and other boats with men in them, is contrary to, American law, international law, all rules of law. Under American law and the laws of most countries, if someone attacks you in the street and you happen, Americans at least, have the right to own firearms, and you shoot them and kill them and can prove you'll be in a court of law and can prove your life was in danger, you'll be set free. But no one was called to account with any evidence whatsoever. And this is wrong. That's as wrong as can be. It's murder. Murder by the government. And Donald Trump and the others who did this should be held accountable for it. Unless they have the evidence, the drugs on these boats, even then, that's not a reason to kill them. Why weren't these men brought to trial like he brought Nicholas Maduro to trial? So, moving on now, after doing this, blowing up the boat, stealing oil, and putting Nicholas Maduro on trial, Donald Trump is now involving America in a war which we should not be involved in a conflict we should not be involved with. We are now bombing Iran as of this date, Saturday, March 7th. I hear we've destroyed their Air Force and Navy. We're bombing buildings. A building of school children has been bombed. 150 people, about that, have been killed. And for what? If Israel wants to fight the Arabs, let them fight the Arabs. This is not our fight. It's Netanyahu's fight. And we, the American people, have a duty to keep out of other people's affairs. Yes, isolationism is a good word. We should mind our own business. It's costing us billions. Israel doesn't want to make peace. The only path to peace in the Mideast is this. Number one, the Arabs have said that a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital, and if Israel goes back to its pre-1967 borders, then Israel could have full diplomatic relations with all Arab countries, but they don't want to do that. They call on the United States, and we stupidly oblige them. Trump, like I said, this was one of the greatest blunders a president could make. We're bombing literally the hell out of Iran, and we should be letting Israel fight them, not us fighting them. Like I said, this is not our fight, but we're involved. And let me look at my notes again. And this is an illegal war. When I say an illegal war, it's not declared by Congress. Congress should be impeached too, because this is an unconstitutional war. And during the 1950s or 60s, Congress passed a law stating the president could take limited action for a year, military action. I don't know the name of the law. I remember reading about it overseas. And President Johnson, after Kennedy was assassinated, used this to get us involved in Vietnam before Nixon pulled us out. And there's no valid reason uh, for us to be in any country now. Iran did not declare war on us. American interests are not sacrificed. No American citizens were killed. Donald Trump lied to the American people. He said a month or so ago, we are not at war with Iran, just their nuclear program. Then he's talking peace with them, and he's saying odd things, weird things. If you're paying attention, which becomes clear. He's saying, if Iran doesn't want to make peace, I'm going to knock the hell out of Iran. They don't want to make peace, I'm going to bomb the hell out of them. And then he strikes suddenly while talking peace. The bullshit excuse they gave was they think Iran was going to strike first. When Iran didn't strike first, they gave no indication that they're going to strike first. They're negotiating, and Trump wanted the element of surprise, which he got. And it's just unconscionable that we were murdering foreign military men, Iran, without a declaration of war or any legal reason or provocation. None was given, except Trump doesn't like them. And now he's calling on them for full unconditional surrender, which anyone, if you know anything about Iran, that's never going to happen. So, so that's the situation right now. And I'd like to say we have no reason to be there. If you're an American, irresponsible religious leaders tell us stand by Israel. It's God's prophetic word or will. It's not God's will. For 4,000 years, the Jewish people didn't have a home, even though God promised it to them. If it's God's will they be there, let God fight for them. But this is not our fight. And as an American, I'm asking you, contact your legislatures and tell them you don't want this war, because nothing could be further from our own interests. Getting involved in a war 10,000, 12,000 with the countries Iran and Israel 10,000 miles away or 12,000 miles away, and nothing could be further from our interests. A total waste of money. The whole East is against Israel. Until Israel agrees to a Palestinian state, we could put people in Iran who are sympathetic to the United States, and in 10 or 20 years, we're going to have Iran attacking Israel again, then who's ever president then, most of us are going to be gone in 30, 40 years, passed away. We'll be fighting them again. During the 1980s, we were fighting Iran and Iraq. 1990, George Bush Sr. Uh, gave one of the most outrageous lies that Iraq hates democracy and they had weapons of mass destruction. They didn't want to say nuclear weapons because they knew they didn't have them in 1990 under Saddam Hussein. Weapons of mass destruction. Now, uh, then 10 or 13 years later, I believe, uh, we invaded Iraq. This is Iraq, not Iran. We invaded Iraq and we had Iraqi citizens try Saddam Hussein and execute him. We cannot be going around the world overthrowing governments and killing people, even dictators we don't like, because it simply doesn't work that way. And this is a path, a drain on our economy. Uh, the only people who are getting rich are American and Jewish businessmen. We have American businessmen and Jewish businessmen in America getting rich off of this war. I have a cousin, or had a cousin, I think he died of asbestos poisoning when we were in Afghanistan for about 20 years uh, after 9/11. He went over there as a civilian, and I believe he was working on an oil rig. Did you get that? An oil rig. We're stealing their oil. This this war, like all wars in the Mideast, are about oil. American and Jewish businessmen are getting rich on it, and it has nothing to do with our own security. It has everything to do with money for all the wrong reasons. No American lives or our security is at stake, but and Israel should fight its own wars. We, the American people, should keep out of other people's business. There's no threat to America from Iran. Oh, to elaborate on that, and I just saw Caroline Levitt on March 4th held a press conference and she told an outrageous lie about Iran. They want everyone in this room dead. Do you really think the Iranian leadership cares anything about you or me? If you're an American citizen, no matter where you live, they never heard of you. They don't care about you or your town or what state you live in. They're not thinking how they want to kill American citizens or what state or town you live in. That is so outrageous, and I don't like the word. It's so outrageous and so bullshit. It defies imagination. So that's the situation, and as American citizens, you should be outraged and have Donald Trump out. Contact your legislatures and tell them you don't want this war or any more wars in the Mideast to pull out because we're killing, like I says, they don't have weapons nowhere equal to ours. We're killing literally defenseless soldiers and sailors who can't defend against American technology just because Donald Trump is mad at them. So, I mean, this contravenes all the laws of warfare. So please contact your legislature and tell them you don't want war in the Mideast or any more war in the Mideast. Israel should talk peace with the Arabs and arrive at a peace solution. This is Mr. Joe signing off.